Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Aquarius celebrities, and in the video, I'm going to use examples for people that have the Sun in Aquarius, Aquarius Moon, and Aquarius Rising. Anyway, first off, as far as Aquarius celebrities go, well, we would have far fewer innovations, I believe, if it weren't for this sign. Aquarius is very progressive, futuristic, and innovative. Thomas Edison patented over, he had patented, I don't know the exact amount, but I know he had numerous innovations. He had many, and he had, if it wasn't for him, he had, we would have had far less overall. And he made so much contributions as far as his inventions go in his illustrious career. It's not even funny. Now, they always seem to be, not always, but they often seem to be very far ahead of their own time. Aquarius can be very revolutionary, and they could be far ahead of their time regardless of their career, and don't have to be somebody that actually invents products to be considered ingenious. Revered, renowned NBA player Michael Jordan, I think, is a great example. He has his Sun in Aquarius. Now, many people regard Michael Jordan as unequivocally the greatest NBA player in history. And he also may have very well revolutionized the game more so than any other NBA player ever. Another example, Aquarius Moon, NBA superstar Stephen Curry, plays for the Golden State Warriors, is another example. He has an Aquarius Moon. And he in his own right may have revolutionized the NBA to some degree, not to the extent that Michael Jordan may have done. But you look at Stephen Curry and anybody that watches him, I've seen him make a number of 40-foot shots, very long three-pointers in a very nonchalant manner, and he just does it with such ease. He adds that more to an actual, almost an ordinary repertoire as far as shots go, where other players would be, a lot more reluctant to take those shots at the frequency he does, and even 50-foot or half-court shots in such a nonchalant manner as well. He just makes it look so easy, and he's really incorporated that into his game, and really that is I think that is something new, not in terms necessarily of the shots, but as far as doing it as the frequency in which he does it. And anyway, and also, sensational at dribbling the basketball. Now, another thing is Babe Ruth, I think, is another example of an iconic Aquarius-like athlete. He had his Sun in Aquarius. Now, he was out homering other baseball teams at times. He was really, I believe, he inspired others in other teams to be more power-oriented and go for home runs more. Another thing is that, and remember that Babe Ruth also did it at a time, I believe, when, and at least for part of the period where America was in some kind of depression, and the Great Depression, and also, where many Americans were actually feeling melancholy, feeling despondent at that time, and I think he helped revive their spirits as well. And anyway, another thing. I've talked previously about how some actors may be drawn to roles that correspond with their astrological energies, at least on a subconscious level, if not conscious level at times. And I think you look at the former star of the original MacGyver series, Richard Dean Anderson, is no exception. He has his Sun in Aquarius. And on the show, he constantly created things that were improvised and used ingenuity to help extricate himself from predicaments. Now, with having Gemini rising, perhaps, this was done to outmaneuver the opposition and situation, and did it in a very quick and fast manner. Now, whether he was using jugs with rope or taking a credit card perhaps to defuse a bomb, he seemed to figure out ingenious ways using his brilliant mind to get himself out of messy situations. And Another thing about Aquarius too is that Aquarius can often be seen as the universal friend and can be seen as very amicable and amiable despite being a fixed sign. It is an air sign. Now, former U.S. President Barack Obama is a good example of this. He seems to be somebody that seems to exude a very benign influence. He seems to be very friendly, amiable, and amicable like Aquarian personalities often are. And I think really the thing too about Aquarius energy is this. Now here's an example, interesting example on Aquarius. Now, as far as celebrities go, now NBA head coach Greg Popovich has his son in Aquarius. And I notice with Aquarius, it seems like we often accept things from Aquarius that generally we may not condone or really accept from others as readily. Now, I mean, Greg Popovich, sometimes at press news or press conferences or what have you, can be known to be a little abrupt and abrasive and sometimes maybe acerbic. And he can often give somewhat unpredictable answers to what people say at these conferences and interviews or what have you. I think a lot of it is attributed to the fact that, you know, it may not come across as malicious or belligerent when you're talking about whether it's him or Aquarius people in general. And I think that's why a lot of us maybe are more accepting of that Aquarius energy. Now, I mean, another thing too is that about Aquarius is that they could also be known for a bizarre, unpredictable behavior. Now, take Aquarius Ascendant actress Roseanne Barr, for example. Many of you may remember that time when she had grabbed her crotch at a Major League Baseball game following her singing the Star-Spangled Banner. Now, this was done really to show, to mock MLB players when they would grab their protective cup. Now, another thing, too, about Aquarius energy too. Aquarius can often have that proclivity to do the unusual and what might be seen as foolhardy by others. Now, you take Aquarius Sun, Nick Wallenda, for example. Now, he has, many of you may know that he became the first person to tightrope across the Grand Canyon without safety netting. And I mean, Aquarius will often do the things that others are reluctant to do. And another thing too, many of you may have remembered Aquarius rising stuntsman Evel Knievel, who attempted numerous audacious jumps, and including I don't know if he actually the Wembley jump, I believe he tried, and what happened was he attempted to do it, but I think he failed. It was supposed to do some jump over 13 buses. But the thing about it is Aquarius, even if not successful, are often going to try these audacious, daring things that a lot of others, like mere mortals, often will not do. So anyway, well, last but not least, Aquarius people can often show a very humane and humanitarian side to their nature. And you look at, many of you may remember the late quarterback for the NFL, Steve McNair, had an Aquarius Sun, and many of you may remember as well, he set up some kind of relief drive for Hurricane Katrina and generated much monetary assistance. And Aquarius is often known for that selfless energy. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Aquarius celebrities. Stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about Pisces celebrities. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.